Well, a red day to the market, on the markets today. Sensex down 1,000 or over 1,000, the Nifty about 333 points. It didn't look good at all for the markets today. And the banks, you could argue, on the large cap end were the principal culprits, down about 1,000 points for the Nifty bank as well, 2% lower. But it was not just about banks, by the way, today. Look at the broader end of the spectrum and the kind of pain that came in at the mid cap and the small cap end, and that was really painful. So the about 500 points, 3% or 3% for the mid-cap index. The small-cap index too, about 2.5 or thereabouts, 2.7% actually. So it didn't look great at the broader end of the spectrum either. The market breadth widened and looked terrible as the day ended. So that was the problem. Now, the Nifty heat map first. And this looks the reverse of what it looked at the start of the trading day today. So yes, we have corrective moves in banks. You can see that IndusInd Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank and SBI are 4% down, were amongst the key culprits. But that was not all, by the way. There was weakness in ONGC, Coal India. And while defensive bent of the market was seen, you still had defensives like HUL, for example, not looking great. Colgate with results not looking great. What did well? Cipla, strong move, 7% higher on the back of what looked or what was a pretty strong quarter. There was strength in Sun Pharma, Bharti Airtel, to an extent, and ICICI Bank on a day when banks didn't do well. This one, after the results, really stood out in trade. In fact, we should pull up the rate sensitive pack and try and see what were the winners and losers. So on the banks, for example, let's get the percentage moves on the banks. ICICI Bank up 1.9%, doing strong. But look at what led the banks lower. IDFC down 6%, IndusInd Bank 6%, PNB, AU Small, BOB, Fed Bank, HDFC Bank 3.5% lower yet again. Fifth straight day of a fall for HDFC Bank. So that bucket looked very, very wobbly. Speaking of rate sensitives, real estate had a very big wobble as well in the session. Look at the kind of moves that have come in. Prestige down 11, Oberoi. But it was not just that. Sobha, Brigade, DLF, the big boy, down about 4% as well. So it looked very weak, and not a single stock in Nifty Realty in the green. Just showed how the stocks just fell like 9 pins in the session today. Then railways had a weak day. And let's start with RVNL, which was down 10%, but that was not all. You look at Railtel, you look at IRFC, you look at Orcon, whatever, that entire bucket, Titagarh, Texmaco, that entire bucket of stocks had a corrective move today. And the valuations, I would argue, is the principal reason that valuations are stretched and the stocks had such a massive run up that some bit of a fall was probably to be anticipated. So very weak day for them. What did well, just as we wrap up, outliers, if you will, right? So we spoke about Cipla as being the outlier. We spoke about Petronet LNG. I haven't spoken about it, but Qatar and India signed long-term agreements, and Petronet LNG up about 5%, as well as Aegis Logistics was up. And the renewable stocks, PM Modi's tweet about rooftop solars got Adani Green to Borosil Renewables to Wari Renewables, all of those very, very excited. Tata Power too in the green. So this is the set of stocks which kind of bucked the trend in the session, but looked very wobbly. We're interested to see what the global markets do today and what's the kind of takeaway that we have for the markets tomorrow.